ihr seid es. Komm, auf geht's. Komm, auf geht's. Einen haben wir noch, oder? Haben wir noch einen? Ja, das war. Jetzt genügend Liebe und Zuneigung. Wir heben ab gemeinsam.
Hörst du ab und auf? Warte mal, ja. Und die aktuelle Zuschauerzahl. Wir, der Rest des Kirchen und der Kirchen bedankt sich bei 22.000 Zuschauern
Super. Anders Jacobsen, welcome back to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. 2 times winner here. What makes this place so special?
It's the first day of a new year. It's kind of, the sheets are clean, you can start over. And yeah, it has some kind of historical vibe also. You're always seeing it on the television, and it's always a lot of crowd here. And I think it's almost every time good weather.
Almost. When you left here 2 times as a winner, this special moments in your career, right?
Yeah, really special. And you know, also home in Norway, this is kind of the biggest event of the year. With you have this New Year's concert in Norway. It's going on the television, and then it's the Four Hills right after. So it's kind of a tradition to watch this on TV. So yeah, one of the biggest events to win for a Norwegian. So really happy to be able to have 2 victories here.
And the last question, who is your favorite today?
That's easy. It's Domen Preutz. He's in amazing shape and also a cool guy. Then again, if you would like my top 3, I think it's Domen Preutz. Then I think we have Ryoyo Kobayashi and Felix Hoffmann from Tyskland.
Thank you so much, and have fun here as a TV expert for the Norwegian television.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Goedes Neues Jahr, bonne année. Srecho no leto. And a happy new year to you all as we look forward now to the second stage of the Viessmann on this absolutely splendid day. The sun pouring down over Garmisch-Partenkirchen, over the Zugspitz mountain, which towers over Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Welcome to FIS TV, welcome to the Olympiaschanze, welcome to the Olympic Stadium. 22,000 packed in here, and the atmosphere is fantastic. Well, some fantastic pictures from the Zugspitze, 2,962 meters, the highest mountain in Germany, and it looks down on this fantastic scene. Once again, a happy new year to you all on behalf of FIS TV, on behalf of myself, David Goldstrom, and look at the atmosphere here. As I said, 22,000 have packed into the Olympic Stadium. This stadium, which essentially dates back to 1936, to the Winter Olympic Games. As you see, the World Cup leader, the world champion, the #1, Domen Preutz for Slovenia. Best in qualification. The winner in Oberstdorf. And the man who today in the trial round reached out to 141 meters and clearly has had a very good New Year's Eve and has got that sleep and rest which he craved when he talked to us yesterday.
First World Cup season, first time in Garmisch-Partenkirchen for the New Year's competition. Is it impressing here?
Yeah, very impressing. Already in Oberstdorf with the big crowd, it was completely overwhelming for me because it's my first 4 hills, so also here it's a very cool atmosphere.
And many million spectators at home. Do you think about this as well? It's really famous here.
I don't think about that so much. I thought about it when I was like searching for sponsors. But not now.
You are jumping against Domen Preeltz today. What are your expectations?
To give him a difficult time. No. I mean, it's going to be a very tough battle. For me, I hope to make a good jump and get one of the lucky loser spots. But yeah, I think the win for him is pretty obvious.
Okay, but anyway, fingers crossed for you. Good luck here in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Joey. Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, one of the Swiss youngsters, and also to bring you up to date, Arti Aigro from Estonia had a fall yesterday. He's in the stadium wearing a protective boot. The MRI scan yesterday showed a partial injury to the medial collateral ligament of his left knee, and also a CT scan showed a displaced fracture of the second metatarsal of the left foot. Recovery time is expected to be about 5-6 weeks, but it's really difficult, and we wish him well. Whether he can make the Olympics or not, I'm not sure, but he's here in the stadium with everybody else looking forward to this competition, but obviously frustrated that he's not a participant. Well, Domen Preeltz, the best in the trial rounds in the past hour, 141 meters. Felix Hoffmann, 136. Stefan Embacher, the new hill record holder at 145.5 meters. That's really impressive performance from Embacher. And then Ryoyo Kobayashi, 139 meters. Nikaido, 132. Chris Sundal, 133. It's a gorgeous day. One of the best New Year's days we've had for a long time. As for the bookmakers, well, Domen Preeltz is 1-3 on. Now, if you're not familiar with betting, what it means is that you'd have to put on £3 or €3 or $3 to get back 1. So that's how strong a favourite he is. And just to underline that the next man in the betting is Jan Hurl, 15-2, which is 7.5 1. Felix Hoffmann, 15-1. Philipp Raimund, 18-1. These are huge odds. That just shows you how much of a favourite that Domen Preeltz is. The 26-year-old Slovenian. Sister Nika Preeltz winning here in the opening round of the women's 2 hills competition. Never been beaten here at Garmisch, Nika Preeltz. And the Preeltz dynasty goes on. And they are a fantastic family. Well, the calculation line here is at 125 meters. As I mentioned a few moments ago, we have a new hill record set by Stefan Embacher, the junior world champion, 145.5 meters. And here, 1 or 2 pictures from the trial round. Daniel Schöffenig. Well, in fact, from Oberstdorf, I beg your pardon, Daniel Schöffenig in 2nd place, Felix Hoffmann 3rd, Domen Preeltz the winner, and of course, Timmy Zeitz, who was 2nd equal as the competition came to an end with Daniel Schöffenig, ultimately disqualified for the ski suit being in the lower leg section 3 millimeters too short. And as Matthias Haffele says, the rules will be applied absolutely. Well, there you can see Domen Preeltz's result 17.5 points ahead of Daniel Schöffenig. The points from Oberstdorf added to those that they'll earn here in Garmisch, and 17.5 points is virtually 10 meters of advantage. A long way to go, but Domen Preutz, 6 times a winner, ahead of Ryoyo Kobayashi, who's had 2 victories, and Philipp Raimund in 3rd place, still looking for that elusive first success. And there is the fantastic hill, modernized, of course, many, many times since the 1936 Olympics. It was Adolf Hitler who effectively forced the 2 towns of Garmisch and Partenkirchen to come together for the Olympic Games. And it was the fantastic Børge Ruud of Norway who won the gold medal back in 1936, ahead of Sven Eriksson of Sweden and Reidar Andersen of Norway. Sandro Bertele in very good humor, just in the second left of your picture there, the director of the International Ski Jumping Circuit. And here are the 25 head-to-head duels. The favorite in red, the outsider in blue, the winner to go through automatically to the final round, and then there are 5 lucky loser places to make up the 30 for the final round. And although you're trying to obviously knock out your opponent, essentially you're still trying to put in your best performance to get maximum points for distance and style, to get the highest possible ranking position and take those points towards maybe a podium position here in Garmisch and towards your challenge for the Vierschanzen. And that golden eagle awaits the winner on the 6th of January in Bischofshofen in Salzburger Land. As you see the matchups here, Domen Preutz in the last pair to go against young Juri Kesseli of Switzerland. Philipp Raimund in sparkling form for Germany. He and Felix Hoffmann are the flag flyers for the host country. Former favourites Karl Geiger and Andy Wellinger in the lineup along with Piers Paschke, but they are outsiders today. Their form is very patchy. Not so for Felix and for Philipp. Fireworks last night in Garmisch as ever. And there's the Four Hills champion of 2025 and the winner here last season. And is this going to be victory number 7 for Domen Preutz? In the lineup today, we have 6 previous winners from Garmisch.
2026, so we have a full stadium, such a nice atmosphere. Hill is in really good shape. The conditions are pretty okay, so we will be ready to start in a few seconds, okay? Very good.
6 previous winners, Stefan Kraft in 2015, Lindvig of Norway in 2020, Daniel Schöffenig in 2025, Ryoyo Kobayashi in 2019 and 2022, Kamil Stock of Poland 2018, and Andrzej Lanasek 2024. Just a note on the Polish boys, Piotr Ziela, disappointing form, he's gone home. As we get ready for the first of the 225 matchups, the wind is a breath of front wind, a breath of front wind, gate 15, and it's Stefan Kraft, the 2015 champion of the Four Hills, to go second. Rok Oblak of Slovenia to get us going. Coming down through the compression onto the table. Every hill is similar but different. And the calculation line at 125 meters. Rok Oblak just shy. Rok, who had those 2 finishes in Falun, 21st place on the normal and the big hill, his best to date. Ranked 37th in the World Cup rankings, up against Stefan Kraft, ranked 8th at the moment. Kraft didn't get as many meters as Oblak yesterday, but that was subpar. Never won here in Garmisch, Stefan Kraft. 3rd here in 2017, the year in which he won the Big Hill World title in Lahti. for the first time. Well, he gets the meters to push Rock Oblak all the way there. Now the style marks are going to make the difference here. Oblak with certainly no telemark. Kraft, this is not Kraft at his best. But the style marks about a point and a half different in Kraft's favour, and that might just make up the difference that he needs. Kraft 111.4, but by his very high standards has only just scraped through to the final round, and Rock Oblak, the first man into the lucky loser pool. Now the German fans getting excited. Andy Wellinger against Robin Pedersen. Wellinger, the outsider as a result of yesterday's performances in the qualification. Third here 2 seasons ago on New Year's Day. And the green laser line gives you an idea of where you need to get to take the lead. Andy Wellinger, runner-up in the Viessmann, the Four Hills, in 2018 and 2024. But he's up against Robin Pedersen, who showed good form in the Rucker Continental Cup competitions, and Rune Velter, the head coach, has brought him back into World Cup. Yesterday, 131 meters, very good effort. He was just in the top 30 in Oberstdorf, way ahead of Andy Wellinger, who didn't score any World Cup points there. So Robin Pedersen for Norway, taking on Andy Wellinger. Beautifully balanced, excellent, and that will be good enough. 124.5 meters for Wellinger. This is over 130. Rune Velter, the head coach for the Norwegians, world champion in Falun in 2015. And Robin Pedersen has certainly justified his aeroplane ticket and his selection into now the Viessmann of 2026. Robin Pedersen goes to the top of the leaderboard, and we move on to the next duel, Germany versus Switzerland. This is fascinating. 2 men on the threshold of new chapters. Ben Bayer for Germany to go first. Sandro Hauswirth of Switzerland, who's on an upward curve of form, to go second. Ben Bayer yesterday, 131 meters. Sadly, not so today. Ben's only 21. Yet to score Winter World Cup points, and 120.5 meters has really opened the door for Sandro. Look at that fantastic crowd. There's not a piece of spare ground to stand on. Front wind deduction of almost a meter. So inviting conditions here for Sandro Hauswirth, who got his first World Cup points in Christmas's Engelberg competitions. 25th in Oberstdorf, that was a decent result. I fully expect him to get the meters he needs. Representing Switzerland. Well, it's very tight. But he's got more meters than Ben Bayer. Over the calculation line, that immediately told me that he had enough meters. And Sandro Hauswirth, 133.5 meters in the qualification round yesterday. Qualified comfortably, nice spacing, straight back, good points. maybe an 18. Oh, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 18s. So not only the distance, but also the style. I said he was on an upward curve, and he is. He's got confidence, and he's going in the right direction. So Norway versus France. Isaac Langmo, a debutant in Four Hills, finished 40th in Oberstdorf. His opponent finished 30th. Langmo trained really well in Oberstdorf, but the competition day wasn't his best. And he's up against Valentin Foubert. He's just shy of the calculation line, 124 meters. And Valentin Foubert, the man who was promoted to 30th in Oberstdorf with the disqualification of the Slovenian Timi Zajc, who originally finished second equal with Daniel Šefanik. Zajc, who was adjudged to have worn a ski jumping suit where the lower leg was 3 millimeters too short. And now Valentin Foubert to challenge this improving 23-year-old Frenchman. Good enough. Ski tips came up very fast into his face there, so just maybe a little late coming off the table. It's tight, only a meter difference in between the two boys, but the star marks, I think Foubert will just edge that. 5.5 points of backwind compensation, and that does make a difference. 118 points, and Foubert, but into third place overall. Japan versus Bulgaria. Fascinating matchup here. They're matched up according to the points they earned yesterday in qualification. Nakamura to go first, 17th in the World Cup rankings against Zagravsky, who's 11th. Not bad from Nakamura. In the top 15 here, last New Year's Day. Achieved one podium in his life in Ruka on the big hill in Finland back in 2022. His opponent was 4th this season in Ruka. That's the best he's ever done, and Zagravsky to follow. 128.5, those are decent meters by Nakamura. But this competition is going to be decided, I think, by athletes who achieve big numbers in the 130s, maybe the 140s. So, Vlad Zagravsky, who cooperates and works with the Germans representing Bulgaria. 3 top 10s so far this season, and that's a good effort. But is it enough? I think it is. It's further than Nakamura, 131 meters. And the man who's got the better form so far this season, maintaining that edge. Lovely shot there. You could see him come off the transition, bringing the speed with him. Upper body parallel to the Slatner skis. Nice and steady through the flight phase. Good telemark to finish. That should earn 17.5 at least. And it's the man in black who's got the edge with the backwind. And Vlad Zagravsky, in fact, overall with 131 meters, goes to the top of the leaderboard. And Nakamura goes to the top of the lucky loser pool. Well, this is the draw they didn't want, which was 2 German athletes against each other. Karl Geiger, who's been, as he said himself, disastrous in form. a little better in qualification, otherwise he wouldn't have been here. But that's barely at the calculation line, if that. I would say that's a couple of meters short. Karl Geiger, 32 years of age, 15 times an individual Winter World Cup winner, runner-up in the Viessmann in 2021 overall, and third in 2020. A man who's finished 5th here, but the rhythm, the shape, the form, the confidence have all evaporated. Hails from Oberstdorf, and he's up against his teammate from Kiefersfelden, Piers Paschke. 5 times a winner last season, 9th here on New Year's Day 2025. 5th here overall last season, Piers Paschke. And it's he who will challenge Geiger. Now Geiger's only got 111 points. That wouldn't be enough for the lucky loser pool. Piers Paschke. Well, you saw the laser green line, and he's well over the calculation line. Well, I say well over, but he's passed it by a meter. And Paschke gets the decision. This was always on the cards, to be honest. Paschke over 130 meters yesterday in qualification. And 117 points only 6th place overall. And Karl Geiger, well, actually, the 111 points, he has got into 4th place in the lucky loser pool. I thought for a moment that wouldn't have been enough. And now, Kazakhstan versus Switzerland. Ilya Mizernik, just 18, against the man who finished runner-up here in Garmisch last New Year's Day. Ilya. Well, looking for the calculation line at 125 meters. Almost, but not quite. Best result ever coming in Engelberg on the Großer Titlis hill there just before Christmas, but yet to finish in the top 20 in any Winter World Cup competition. But there are signs of this young man moving in the right direction, just outside the top 10 in the Junior Worlds last season. 111.3 points. That's 0.3 more than Karl Geiger got. But Gregor Deschwanden, a couple of 10th place finishes, 6 podiums in his career. Excellent 2nd place here last New Year's Eve. That's not bad at all. Little wide on the spacing. That's over 130. And this challenges for the overall lead, both in terms of distance and in terms of style. Really nice tuck, comes up, legs are straight, half a meter off the table. Lovely flying position. Just a little instability on the sport leg. That'll cost him half a point, but he should be in the sort of 17.5, 18 range. And indeed, there he is. The 5 judges, of course, marking each of them out of 20. The highest and lowest marks taken away to get rid of any anomalies. The other 3 points added together with the distance points to give you each man's overall total. Deschwanden goes 3rd. Less than a meter between Zagrawski, Nakamura and Deschwanden. And the difference between front wind and back wind is certainly relevant. Now Pavel Vasek for Poland up against Norway's Johan Andre Forfang. Front wind, breath of it. Very modest by Vasek. He was pretty good in the 4 hills last year, finished 8th overall. But this season, his form has been very patchy. Outside the top 30 in the World Cup rankings. And I think he's up against it here against Johan Andre Forfang. Forfang, who in a way though has disappointed, has trained extremely well, but hasn't delivered on competition day. Outside the top 20 in Oberstdorf. Well, distance-wise, only had to get past the calculation line, really, and he's done that comfortably by about, 4 or 5 meters, not quite sure whether, it's 5 meters. And the star marks are going to be solid enough, and Forfang will be in the final round. Hails from Tromsø, but has been based a resident of Trondheim for years and years and years. His big ambition is to bring the World Championships one day to Tromsø. Forfang only 5th at the moment, a couple of meters off the lead, held by Vlad Zagravsky of Bulgaria. And so to another Norwegian, on the left of your picture, the Beijing Olympic champion. On the right, Maciej Kot, who finished 4th in the tourney back in 2017 when he was absolutely flying. Now, to be fair, the Olympic champion hasn't been in Olympic form. And that's as much why he went first. You could see the differential in the skis, that a bias towards the left there. It is over the calculation line, but I don't think the style marks are going to be very impressive. I think the judges will be pretty eagle-eyed here. Marius, 27 years of age, one of the athletes, of course, who was at the heart of the Norwegian suit manipulation scandal of last season, which have led to the new regulations, quite rightly. 126.5 now. Maciej Kot, you wouldn't put your house on him, but can he produce something? He's not the most consistent of athletes at the moment. And again, you could see the differential in the skis. The distance is about the same. Now, style and backwind compensation are going to be really relevant here. He's half a meter further than Marius Lindvik. This might just be enough. But it comes down to the compensation. 111.4 points for Marius Lindvik. Maciej Kot, 119.6. And it's that compensation that makes the difference for Maciej Kot. 4.5. To be fair, the style marks were a little better, but it was the backwind compensation which gave him the clear advantage. Lindvik into second place in the lucky loser pool, and now Japan and Norway get together here. Yukiya Sato, 30 years of age, twice an individual Winter World Cup winner, 6th here some 3 years ago. Well, I think he's opened the door here for Chris Sundal. Sato was 21st yesterday, 21st in Oberstdorf, I should say. Chris Sundal 10th, that was a decent result. There are quite a few athletes who are just falling short of the calculation line, and here's another one. Coached by Kento Sakoyama, and probably in the 16 range with that instability. Yeah, 16.5. fair marks from the judges, and they are very consistent at the moment. And there is this fantastic shot of the crowd. And now to Sundal. 4 times he's been on a World Cup podium, but yet to win one. Runner-up in Oslo in 2024, the closest he's got to victory. Really good power coming off the table. And Sundal getting the distance and getting the style, and he will succeed. And Sato knew immediately, and Sundal knew immediately when he came off the table that he was going to get beyond the calculation line. Over 130 meters in qualification. Different day, different conditions. Backwind, as you can see there, 12.8. That's about 6 meters. That is very significant. And 129.3 points. Sundal to the top of the leaderboard. And those backwind compensation points, very significant. Well, Nico Kitosaho and Jonas Schuster, what a matchup. Jonas, who's having a dynamite season, more of him in a moment. First of all, 26-year-old Nico Kitosaho. Well, he started the World Cup campaign in Ruka with a top 10 finish this season. And things look really good. He's had another couple of top 15s, but here, this was an off day at the office. You could see the lack of balance, which cut the speed, the difference in the skis. And Kitosaho, well, he's going to be lucky to survive this. Only 118 meters, lots of deductions for distance. 1.8 meters coming off for every meter short of the calculation line. That's a 7-meter deduction. Very significant. Now Jonas Schuster, son of Werner Schuster, former Austrian ski jumper himself and trainer of the German team, and Jonas. Well, to be honest, I was expecting a little bit more for Jonas Schuster. Werner, the head coach of the German team between 2008 and 2019, never actually won a competition himself. He was runner-up in Japan in Sapporo in 1987. So next match up here, Jason Colby for the United States. Jason Colby, this excellent 19-year-old, got a 7th place in Engelberg just before the Christmas break, and that's really a personal best. Jonas Schuster, the man we're keeping our eye on for the marks, and that's what we're waiting for at the moment. And well, I've got a little bit confused. Apologies to The computer is really playing around at the moment. I'll try and get you up to date as soon as I can. Jonas Schuster, 124.5 meters. I'll get back to the others. This is Aalto versus the defending champion, Aalto for Finland. Aalto with a meter or two, maybe two beyond the calculation line. Just to bring you up to date, Naoki Nakamura still leading the lucky loser pool from Yukiya Sato, Marius Lindvig in third place, Isak Langmo fourth, and Ilya Mizernik in fifth place. So Carl Geiger is out of that, and Aalto there with 126 meters. Maxi Ortner, 130.5 meters. He went into sixth place. Daniel Schöffenig for Austria, defending champion, the winner here last year. And Daniel Schöffenig, style excellent, distance absolutely the right numbers. 132.5 meters for this 23-year-old who really announced himself last year. Runner-up, of course, in Oberstdorf, behind Domen Preutz. Winner of the opening World Cup competition in Lillehammer. And 128.6 points puts Schöffenig into second place overall, behind Sundal. Simon Aman never won the Four Hills, but did win here on New Year's Day 2011. Second in the Four Hills on two occasions, third on another two outings, and Simon Aman. Once again, the telemark marks, or lack of them, are going to hurt him. This 44-year-old quadruple Olympic gold medalist. Sub or below or short of the calculation line. '44th in the World Cup rankings, but the inspiration for so many young Swiss lads to get involved. And now he generously enjoys the performances of the likes of Sandro Hauswirth and Felix Strunz. But you could see from his face there and the expression, he doesn't expect to qualify. He's up against 18-year-old Kasper Tomasiak, over 130 meters in the trial round today, in really good heart, good height, good flight. Star marks will be really solid here. Over 130 meters again, I think. The writing was on the wall for Simon Aman the moment that Kasper came off the table. Twice fifth in World Cup competitions so far this season. He is a debutant to the Vierschanze. What an opening season for him. And Kasper Tomasiak into the overall lead with the wind compensation, the backwind compensation, 8.3 points, about 4 meters worth. And Poland lead the competition at the moment. And so to the Czech Republic versus Japan. Roman Kudelka at the age of 36, very experienced. Never on the podium here, fourth in 2019. The same season in which he finished fifth overall It would be lovely to see him hit a purple patch of form. That, I fear, is not going to be enough to outdistance and outpoint Ryoyo Kobayashi. That's 4 meters, 4.5 meters short of the calculation line. And he's up against the triple winner of the Viessmann, one of the 3 men to have achieved the Grand Slam of winning Oberstdorf, Garmisch, Innsbruck and Bischofshofen in a single season. And Ryoyo Kobayashi $17-1 with the bookmakers today to win. Have they been too generous? Kento Sakoyama, the head coach, who's got an impressive squad. And the winner here in 2019 and 2022 does not blow the stadium apart. It's enough easily to make his place in the final. But will this take the lead away from young Tomasiak? 11 years his junior. The winner here, Ryoyo Kobayashi, on 2019 and 2022. One of the really engaging guys on the circuit, keen golfer, passionate about motor cars. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks of 18 just there, and 4.7 points, and he's gone into 4th place overall, a couple of meters behind young Tomasiak. Now Canada versus Slovenia. Mackenzie Boyd close, waiting in the wings. In fact, before then it's the Ukraine next against Poland. Highlighted in blue there, the men who are alive in the lucky loser pool. Langmo holding on at the moment and not allowed to start there, and that's the reason for the points. Not permitted to start, NPS. And that means that Matthias Haffele and the FIS equipment control team, that was the confusion with Maxi Ortner at the time, because Jason Colby didn't take his turn because he wasn't allowed to take his turn. Now Timmy Zeitz disqualified again for the 2nd competition running. Leg length 4 millimeters incorrect in terms of the rules. Jason Colby disqualified again, leg length 12 millimeters. So on we go. Yevhen Marusiak of the Ukraine. Well, he's had the odd good result. The best he ever had was on the ski flying hill in Vikersund in 2024, when he finished 11th, which was an excellent result. Mid-20s now. Really good to see Yevhen in the first round here. 50 athletes. He's an athlete, one of the 16 countries represented in this competition. There were 20 represented in yesterday's qualification. 123.5 meters, but Kamil Stock in his final season, triple winner of the Viessmann, and like Kobayashi, a Grand Slam winner. He's looked a lot more relaxed. Certainly did in Oberstdorf, where he finished 17th. And that's where he's generally been finishing, in the teens. 129 meters. enough distance points to ensure a place in the final. 136 meters yesterday, brilliant qualification effort. And Stock, 120.7 points. But it leaves him some 6 to 7 meters off, and there's confirmation of Timmy Zeitz. Well, it's hard enough to be disqualified once, but twice for effectively the same reason. And so to Canada, and Mackenzie Boyd-Close with the disqualification of Timmy Zeitz, who should have been following him. He gets a free pass. That's effectively good enough to put him into the final round, but 118.5 meters is the distance he's achieved. This Canadian, who got a bronze medal at the last Olympics as a member of the Canadian team in the mixed team effort, and the mixed team competition is going to be something to really look forward to in the Olympics in Milan Cortina in February in Predazzo. So not permitted to start, and Timmy Zeitz, I can't believe that he's fallen foul again. Turkey, great to see Ipcioglu, Fatih Ipcioglu at the age of 28. He does have moments. It's been a struggle this season and for much of last season. No World Cup points so far in the current campaign. And that's a real shame. He's up against the man who currently lies 6th in the World Cup rankings, Germany's Felix Hoffmann. Now, to get into the lucky loser pool, you need more than 124 points. And, well, I should say, well, you need 112.2, let me be accurate. And 89.9. Felix Hoffmann, a challenger for Garmisch-Partenkirchen honours, needs to lay something really challenging, needs to get over 130 meters, good in-run speed, 90 kilometers, excellent. That's what the crowd were hoping for, asked and answered. Andy Vellinger looking on, and that's the longest flight of the afternoon so far. Excluding the trial round, that is. 134 meters, and this will score well. $134. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the odd 19 out of a possible 20 here from the style judges. Stefan Horngacker in the orange there, looking pretty satisfied, and there, Felix Hoffmann to the top of the table, 137 points, a couple of meters clear of young Tomasiak of Poland. Chris Sundal of Norway in 3rd place now. And now France, Austria. Juchevet, well, it's youth versus experience here. 21-year-old Jules versus 40-year-old Manu Fettner. Good to see the Frenchman in the competition. Nicolas Desum, the one and only Frenchman to win a World Cup, in charge of bringing forward this new generation of French talent. Unfortunately, this is not going to bode, I think, too well for this youngster. A newcomer to the Four Hills, one of several who've yet to get a World Cup point. He knows that this was his mistake on transition. 102.6 points, not enough to get into the lucky loser pool. And now Manuel Fettner, 4th here in 2023, 4th here in 2024, 4th overall, way back in the tourney of 2011. Well, that didn't really come off for him. I thought he was going to get further. He is over 130 meters. Andy Wenzel, the head coach for Austria, who won the Four Hills in 2000, smiles there, and he knows that that wasn't quite right. Fettner, like Kamil Stoch of Poland in his final season for the Austrian team, he's been a fantastic servant, not least anchoring the team to gold in Beijing in the Big Hill team event. 4 podiums. It would be lovely to see him win one of these World Cup competitions before it's time to hang up the skis. Manuel Fettner into 3rd place. A little better than I thought he would be. And there you can see where the blue carpet and the red carpet meet. That is the calculation line at 125 meters. Still plenty of duels to come, and it's Kazakhstan versus Japan. Now Daniil Vasiliev, ranked 39th in the World Cup, versus Ren Nakaido, ranked 5th. Big ask for the 21-year-old. Well, you could see the problems that he encountered there. And I think that he might lose as much as 25% of his style marks. Oh, he's really out of control, coming out of the flight phase. Oh, 13.5. Those are really tough marks. He's better than that. Daniil Vasiliev, 17th in Klingenthal. That's his best of the season. But Ren Nakaido, 2 runners-up spots in Ruka and Klingenthal for this talented 24-year-old Japanese athlete. Lovely. Good effort from Ren Nakaido. That's real meters that he's put down there. 137.5, and that is 3.5 meters further than anybody else. And oh, look at these marks coming on my screen here. 19, 19.5, 19, 19, 18.5. This is by far the best performance. Ren Nakaido. This season, he's announced himself 13th here a year ago. This bodes very well. Front wind deduction, but nonetheless, that front wind deduction 0.7, whereas Felix Hoffmann had back wind compensation 5.3. There's just a meter between the two of them, and a 3rd disqualification. Ipsioglu of Turkey, well, he wouldn't have been through anyway, but nonetheless, still disappointing. Finland now, Nusiainen against Philip Raimund. Tough draw here for Nusiainen. That front wind prevalent. Front wind over the knoll, pretty well in 6 out of the 8 sectors. 122 meters, and Philip Raimund will be hoping that it stays that way for his turn. His teammate Felix Hoffmann up into 2nd place. It's a long time, 2002, since any German won here. That was Sven Hannevald in the year in which he achieved the Grand Slam. Philip Raimund, 5th in Oberstdorf. 5 podiums in his career, 4 this season. He's been in splendid form, attacking, attacking, attacking. Well, he's not a million miles away.
Yes, yes,
mid-130s. It's not up there with Nakaido, but it's respectable. Nusiainen is knocked out. Only has 103 points, so he doesn't make the lucky loser pool. Now, Raimund. I don't think too many 19s will come his way. More 18s. Nakaido, Hoffman, Tomasiak, Fettner, Sundal, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this man is going to slot in there amongst them. German crowd really, really enthusiastic. And 2.7. And he's through into third place overall. So Japan lead, Germany second and third, Poland at fourth place, and then Fettner the best for Austria. But things can change yet. America versus Slovenia. Tate France, who was in such good form last season, 3 10th place finishes, but this campaign has been very different for this 20-year-old American. On a day like this, you really need the meters, and that's sub 120. The Junior World silver medalist at Lake Placid last season. But this is the way it happens sometimes. The follow-up season doesn't work out as you anticipated. But I still think there are good things to come from this man. There's certainly good things coming from that man. He is the number 1, Domen Preutz. And now he's looking on at Andrzej Lanasek. Winner here in 2024, one of our 6 winners involved in today's first round. Overall runner-up in 2023, Lanasek. Well, he's cleared the calculation line, he's cleared 125 meters. That will tell you that Tate France will hope for a place in the lucky loser pool, but 96.1 points won't get him there, sadly. The Americans did pretty well yesterday to get Kevin Bickner and also Tate France and Jason Colby in, but they're not having such a good day today, and Tore Snell, the Norwegian who coaches them, will be, I think, somewhat disappointed. Lanasek comfortably into the final round. I say comfortably, but he's actually a good 10 meters off the lead, and the lead still with Ren Nakaido of Japan. And this should be fun, the next duel. Kevin Bickner versus Stefan Embacher, the new hill record holder here. 145.5 meters in qualification yesterday. Kevin Bickner, USA to go first. He was disqualified here last year. No. Wind conditions are variable. Front wind over the knoll, but further down a lot of back wind, but this is one of the poorest efforts we've seen. And Kevin Bickner, again, at his best, he'd be at least in the final round, but not today. 90 points, 100 points is the sort of average threshold of respectability, and he's way short of that. Now, Stefan Embacher for Austria. Junior world champion, runner-up in Falun, 19 years of age. Flying. Little wrong with that. Over 130 meters. He's up there with some of the best at the moment. The style marks will help him. Distance-wise, he's there with the likes of Hoffmann and Raimund. Austria, who are, as a squad, the #1 nation at the moment. Really impressive Empacher all the way through this season, as well as the runners-up spot in Falun. 6 other top 10 finishes. He was 7th in Oberstdorf. That was good. And they're 138.1 points. He's 40 centimeters behind Nikaido in 2nd place overall. 2 head-to-head duels to come in this first round. Slovenia versus Austria, and then Switzerland versus Slovenia. And Zach Mogul for Slovenia goes first. He's the outsider. Very much so. The man who he faces was runner-up in the tournée last season. Zach Mogul. Zach Mogul, only 23. Oh, I should say 24, actually. Top 10 in Sapporo a couple of seasons, then lost his way. Trying to come back to form, justified his selection here by Robert Hagota. But 122.5 meters, well, there have been plenty who haven't reached that distance. Isak Langmo still in 5th place in the lucky loser pool. This is Jan Hurl. This could challenge. Oh, more than that. This could take the lead. That is over 140 meters. Jan Hurl, who has this remarkable record here in Garmisch. It started in 2022 on New Year's Day. He was 5th. Then he was 5th in 2023 on New Year's Day. Then he was 5th in 2024 on New Year's Day. Then he was 5th last year in 2025 on New Year's Day. Runner-up overall behind Daniel Schöffenig last season. Jan Hurl, the 15-2 second favourite to win here today, behind Domen Preutz, 146.1 points. And that's a 4-meter edge over Ren Nikaido, who drops to 2nd, and Stefan Empacher, who drops to 3rd. The last matchup, young Yuri Kessely, a debutant in Four Hills, only 20 years of age, 24th in Engelberg just before Christmas, his first ever World Cup points against the World Cup leader, the world champion. Fly for fun. Well, this is fantastic experience. He was chatting just before the competition started about the atmosphere, the occasion. He was just sort of overawed by it, and maybe that got to him. Bine Nortic there, the head coach, will look after him. He's got a really good potential squad here. And Kessely, well, it was always going to be a tough draw. He was the last man to qualify yesterday, which is why he's up against the best man who qualified yesterday, 26-year-old Domen Preutz, 139 meters in qualification, 141 in the trial round. Here is the odds-on favorite, looking for win number 7 of the season. Going for 140, taking on Jan Hurl. Jan Hurl's style was better, and Preutz has got the distance, Hurl has got the style. 143 meters, 2 meters further than Jan Hurl. But Jan Hurl had 19s, whereas I think this is not going to get much better than 18s. And in fact, I can see it now. 1, 2, 3 marks of 18, a couple of 17.5s in there for Doman. You could see there losing his control on the touchdown. These are those little moments where half a point comes off. Proudly sporting the golden bib of Viessmann, the fantastic supporters of World Cup of ski jumping. And Doman Preutz, with his extra 2 meters, has got ahead. Backwind compensation was a little more for him than it was for Jan Hurl, and that, together with the distance, has made up the difference in style marks, and he leads by just under 2 meters, Doman Preutz, at the end of the first round. Doman Preutz for Slovenia, Jan Hurl for Austria, Red Nikaido for Japan. Here we go. 3.6 points would be 2 meters between Preutz and Hurl. Red Nikaido just over 5 meters back. Similarly, Stefan Embacher. Hoffmann and Raimund locked together in 5th and 6th places. The men in blue are the men who will qualify for the final round as a result of a place in the lucky loser pool. But you can see they're a long way back, 37 points. It's more than 16 meters in distance. These men, I'm afraid, are out of the competition, including the likes of Wellinger and Geiger and Aman, big names. And they're really disappointingly, Ipchioglu disqualified, and Zeitz and Colby not allowed to start because of suit violations. But it just underlines the strictness of the controls over the regulations that have been introduced for this season after the suit manipulation scandal of last year. Red Nikaido, excellent effort in every sense. 137.5 meters, third best in distance. Execution was first class. Red Nikaido, 50-1 with the bookmakers to win today. Here's the second favourite, Jan Hurl. His season hasn't taken off so far. 5 wins in his career, 13 times a runner-up. 4 times he's finished 5th here. It could be very different today. Doman Preutz, he's got the edge again, Doman, with these fantastic flying skills that he has. Well, the second round is going to be something to absolutely relish. Quarter past the hour for the start, so a moment to catch the breath. The women who were competing here yesterday have travelled to Oberstdorf for the second of their competitions. That's something to also keep in mind. So just looking at the order now, Doman Preutz, Hurl, Kurd, Hoffmann and Raimund, and Tomasiak in 5th, 6th and 7th places play a part. Well, you never know. You can only focus on what you can do and not worry too much about anybody else. Of course, the Four Hills, one of the greatest competitions in sport, dating from 1953, is a roll of honor on which all of the ski jumpers would love to feature. As I've mentioned many times, there's many an athlete who would trade a world championship or even an Olympic medal for victory here. Garmisch and Partenkirchen looking absolutely splendid today. Historically on this hill, Jens Weissflog of Germany, or the German Democratic Republic and West Germany when they were combined. Jens Weissflog, the most successful athlete on the hill in winning ways, 4 victories. Gregor Schlierenzauer of Austria, another fantastic athlete, 3 times a winner here. Jani Ahonen won twice on New Year's Day. Ryoyo Kobayashi has won here twice. Noriaki Kwasai, the legendary 53-year-old who was competitive just recently in Engelberg in the Continental Cup. He's won here twice. And as of Slovenia, well, Primož Peterka, 2 victories by him. And Petr Prejoc also a winner here. Peterka for Slovenia, Prejoc for Slovenia, Lanasek for Slovenia have all won here. As you see in foreground there, Camel Stock waiting for his turn. This is as good an atmosphere as I can ever remember here in Garmisch-Partenkirchen in the Olympic Stadium. It really is amazing. This is why so many people come. It's a great sporting occasion, great social occasion, chance to catch up with your friends from all over the world. And what's happened to the lift, I wonder? Quite a lot of the teams stayed up for the new year to see it in at the Europa Hotel. Fireworks as ever. And the town absolutely packed. You couldn't get a table in any of the restaurants. Everything was booked. As it is pretty well every year. Now, as I mentioned a few moments ago, the women are in action over in Oberstdorf on the Schattenberg-Schanze. Their competition gets underway at 4:15 Central European Time. My colleague Nina Lucy, very impressive champion of her country in the world of ski jumping, not once, not twice, but 3, 4 times. I think, if I am accurate about that, will be your host for that competition. And she'd be delighted for your company. 4 o'clock. Well, pretty well when we finish here, it'll be time for the women to take centre stage in Oberstdorf. In a way, it's a pity that it's only 2 hills competition for them and that we can't bring them into the Austrian legs, but hopefully one day that will be possible. Just a reminder to encourage you to go to our website, FIS-ski.com, and there you will find a host of extra features and the podcast and a way of really getting more information about the sport and about the competitions. So we'll take a minuscule pause for a few moments. The start of the final round, which should be dynamite in about 8. Well, welcome once again to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Happy New Year yet again on behalf of the whole FIS team. Hope you have a very safe, enjoyable, happy and healthy New Year as we get ready for the final round, which is just a couple of minutes away from starting. 22,000 packed into the Olympic Stadium here, hailing from the 1936 Winter Olympics. And the Olympia Schanze looking absolutely splendid. 50 started out, 30 have made it through to the final round, a combination of winning their knockout head-to-head duel plus the 5 lucky losers. And we're almost set to go. Wind conditions at the moment, predominantly a backwind for this final round, but it changed a little bit throughout the first round, and there were differentials. There were athletes who got front wind, like Ren Nikaido. There were athletes who got backwind, like Jan Hurl and Domen Preutz. This, of course, the second stage of the Four Hills. After today, it's a rest and a travel day for the third leg of the competition on the Bergisel in Innsbruck, the capital of the Austrian Tyrol. And with the Austrians doing so well, I expect the stadium to be absolutely packed. It is actually sold out anyway. And then that's on the 3rd and 4th on the weekend, and then finally the 5th and 6th, Bischofshofen, Salzburger Land. The 6th being the final day of the traditional holiday, which is why the Four Hills runs to that timetable. So Damon Preutz with about a 1.75 meter advantage over Jan Hurl of Austria. Damon Preutz, who's had 6 successes in the World Cup up till now. Jan Hurl yet to score and stand on the top step of the podium in the current campaign. So welcome everybody to FIS TV, welcome to Garmisch-Partenkirchen for the final round of the second leg of the 2026 FIS Schanze, the Four Hills, this famous competition. Beautiful conditions, it's been an absolutely gorgeous day. And let's hope that we have a terrific finale. If you're just joining us now, the calculation line which determines a number of distance points you get is 125 meters. The hill record, 145.5 meters, set yesterday in qualification by Austria's junior world champion Stefan Embacher. 3 athletes disqualified in the first round, very disappointing. Timmy Zeitz for the second competition in a row. Ipcioglu of Turkey. Jason Colby of the United States. But it underlines the seriousness of which the FIS now take these regulations.
Which is operating to the tower. And some athletes from the first group, they were stopped in the lift, which was stuck, going down in emergency mode and going back. Hopefully now it should work. But based on this situation, we had to delay a little bit the start time of the final. Okay. So far we don't have the sharp starting time, but we will start as soon as possible. Especially in the case that we have the athletes from the first group ready on the top.
Yeah, this is a force majeure. We have to wait to have the athletes on top.
Yeah, they will be ready as soon as possible, hopefully.
Well, I wonder what was happening with the lift, and obviously there is a technical hitch.
I will. We will start with the 4 jumper.
Once upon a time before the lifts, of course, it was a walk up the hill, and still is at some hills. Borek Sedlak there, the assistant race director, in charge of the traffic light release. When the green light comes on, just 10 seconds to leave the bar, with the athletes visually in touch with the coaches stand, which gives them the opportunity for them to confirm the release and the instruction to start. Sandro Pertile, it's just about as relaxed as I've seen him, particularly in Oberstdorf. The man who took over from Walter Hofer as the director of international skiing, hails from Predazzo, where the Olympics will be center stage for ski jumping. Borek Sedlak, former ski jumper himself, working with the jury. Reed Zolke of the United States, the technical delegate. And these are the men who've made it through. Mackenzie Boyd-Close essentially getting a free pass because his opponent was disqualified from the first round, ranked in the points order of the first round. But it'd be really interesting. It'd be fascinating to see if somebody from the middle order, for example, can throw the gauntlet down and put some really big meters in and really open up the competition. It's really hard to win the four hills. The hills are similar, but they're all different. And you have to factor in not just the competition, but the fact that they train. That's 2 rounds of jumping. Then you qualify, that's number 3. Then you trial, that's 4. Then the 2 rounds of competition, that's 6. Multiply that by 4, that's 24 major efforts. And add to that the traveling, the packing, the unpacking. And if you're successful, the amount of time the media will demand from you for interviews, not only the television companies, but also the journalistic media, and that saps your energy. And to win the 4 hills, you have to be at the top of your game. You have to be really, really fit. And that's why Doman was saying that he was really looking forward to a good night's sleep, because the night before wasn't so good. Really important to sleep well. And if you're just wondering what's happening, well, we had a hitch with the lift and the boys got delayed getting upstairs. So gate number 16, that's because the backwind conditions are a little bit more significant, a little bit more challenging. But there's no gate compensation at this moment because everybody starts equal on gate 16. And the first man out, Mackenzie Boyd-Close for Canada. By getting into the 30, he gets at least 1 World Cup point, because the 4 hills is part of the season-long World Cup competition. And here comes this Canadian who really, really works hard at this game. Over the years, it's been a bit of a struggle for him, particularly financially. So in a way, I'm really pleased that at least he's got a point here. He's in the final round because Timmy Zeitz of Slovenia, who was second equal in Oberstdorf, has got disqualified for a second time. He took it very well in Oberstdorf. I don't think he'll be quite so happy this time. Next man to go, Stefan Kraft. Can you believe, 4 hills champion of 2015, that he's going so early? Now, can he shake up the table here? Well, he's not at the calculation line. He wasn't there the first time. He's not there this time either. Stefan Kraft, 32 years of age, 46 times an individual Winter World Cup winner. But this is one of the hills he's never conquered. 3rd here in 2017, one of his superb seasons. Overall World Cup winner, 4 hills champion. What's missing at the moment is that big gold medal at the Olympics. But don't write him off by any means, that would be foolish. Now, Langmo for Norway. The difference between him and Stefan Kraft at the halfway stage, less than half a meter. But Stefan Kraft will move up a place. Langmo is a new boy to this competition, representing Norway, just 21 years of age. Top 15 in the Junior Worlds 2 seasons ago in Planica. But he'll be really disappointed with this. He's better than this. Next up, Finland's Antti Aalto, who, like Langmo, gets through to the final round as a member of the lucky loser pool. And the gate going up. And that's because of the increased strength of the backwind. Now, what this means is that when you go up a gate, it's about half a meter in distance. You get a greater in run. That allows you to build more speed, but the downside is that you lose 3.8 points, almost 2 meters in terms of gate deduction points. You can set those against the backwind compensation. Antti Aalto for Finland, looking for the lead. Well, Kraft had 123 meters. This isn't even 120. But 17 points worth of backwind compensation. That's almost 10 meters. And as a result of that, he might just hold his ranking position. Antti Aalto, in fact, second. I said might. He's missed out there. Stefan Kraft moves up another slot, and Jonas Schuster now. Well, Jonas Schuster, a disappointing first effort. 124.5 meters. Now, this is a man who could make a difference. Well, he's certainly gone into the lead. He's outdistanced his teammate, Stefan Kraft. Jonas, 22 years of age, Junior World silver medalist, 5th and 6th in Engelberg, his best of the season. And this is the right side of the calculation line, by which I mean he's actually got some bonus points. There you can get a sense of the speed and the blink of an eye in which you have to make the transition to explode off the end of the table. 2:38, and takes a handsome, almost 4-meter advantage over Stefan Kraft. Early days, and now yet another lucky loser pool graduate, Marius Lindvik. Some big names going early. The Olympic champion of Beijing 2022. That's better. Much, much better than the first flight. Up to 130 meters. Lindvik, winner of this fantastic competition on New Year's Day 2020. Twice a runner-up in the tournée. Difference in the skis there. The judges will have picked that up. Instability on the touchdown. 16.5, 17, indeed. Fair marks, 239.4, holds his position ahead of Jonas Schuster. They are going in reverse order of their ranking from the first round. The best goes last. And now another lucky loser pool graduate, Yukiya Sato. Decent effort from Yukiya. 2 individual World Cup successes in Sapporo and Nizhny Tagil back in 2020. And this is close to Lindvik's distance. And he had about 1.5 meters advantage over the Norwegian. But only 5.9 points. Lindvik had 9.9. Sato into third place. Just 0.5 meter separating the top three at the moment. And now Piers Paschke, and that's why they're going a little wild here. Very popular. This man who I once upon a time described as a journeyman, 6 times a Winter World Cup winner in his career so far. And what you really want to do is to see the improvement in the second round, and there is an improvement here. In improvements in distance and improvements in style. Piers Paschke. Took him a long time to get onto the top step of the podium. But Piers, all credit to the way he stuck to the task. He said how excited he was to be involved in the Four Hills. Gets ahead of Lindvik. Piers, 35 years of age, and now at the other end of the age scale, Valentin Foubert. Foubert, again enjoying his best ever season, and 2 efforts right on the calculation line. 125 meters, 60 points for distance, plus 17s pretty well across the board. Foubert chasing Paschke, but he only had 0.6 of a point advantage from the first round. So Paschke with 130.5 meters will move up. Foubert drops back. Now the man in 21st place at the halfway stage, Sandro Hauswirth, Switzerland. Over 130 meters yesterday in qualification. Moving forward in the right direction. Great in-run speed, 91 kilometers. Really, really good. And he's over 130 meters again. Sima Laman leading out the gate there, delighted with a big smile. He's cracked it again. New leader, 132 meters. Sandro Hauswirth of Switzerland. 25 years of age. Got his first ever World Cup points at Engelberg on a Swiss hill just before Christmas. 25th in Oberstdorf. And now, that's an improvement because there are only 20. So in World Cup terms, a new personal best. Well done, Sandro. Lovely to see the sportsmanship and appreciation and respect. And then there were 20. And that's the state of play, Switzerland with the advantage. And as you digest that, let me whet your appetite for the next 20, ranked from 20 down to 11. Now, these 20 are separated by 16.5 meters. The next man to go will be Poland's Maciej Kot. 29 points off the lead at the halfway stage. But in this next group, Poland, Slovenia, Norway, Austria, Switzerland, Japan, all represented. And some really big names in this group here. Kamil Stock, triple 4 years, 4 hills champion. Ryoyo Kobayashi will be going in 11th place. Another triple winner of this competition. Jani Ahonen, the legendary Finn, the man who has won this more than anybody else 5 times. as you see that backwind, which could play its part. Here goes Maciej chasing Sandro Hauswirth. 0.2 of a point is advantage over the Swiss man, and Hauswirth 132 meters. Maciej hasn't got that far. It's fair, but it's not what was required to take the lead. Backwind compensation from gate 17. A little bit more than Sandro Hauswirth, but it's not going to make a difference. Hauswirth will continue to lead. Paschke will stay in second place. Marius Lindvig in third. And the next man up, Andrzej Lanasek, the man who won here. Andrzej Lanasek in 2024, January the 1st, 2024. From here to gain a third victory for the season would need a monster leap of more than the hill record, that's for sure. And he is the new leader. Taking on Sandro Hauswirth. And that's well into the 130s. The Slovenians really unhappy about the second disqualification of Timi Zajc. And 135 meters, not his tip-top best style. Andrzej, 254.9. I wonder how close we're going to get to 300 points today for the winning total. So do Kamil Stoch, and this huge appreciation worldwide for this 38-year-old. Double Olympic champion, 3 times winner of this great competition in his final season. Well, 129 meters in the first round. This looks similar. Oh, it is. It's the same. Backwind compensation will help a little bit. But Lanasek, 6 more meters than Stoch in terms of distance. And there was a toenail between them at the halfway stage. So advantage Andrzej Lanasek. Kamil Stoch, a sort of farewell but thank you wave to the crowd. Lanasek, Hauswirth, Stoch, Paschke off the podium. And next up, Johan Andre Forfang. And the difference between Forfang and Lanasek, a meter in Forfang's favour. Well, you probably saw from the graphic he needed to get to 134.5 meters, and he's short of that distance by 3-4 meters. 130 it is. So Lanasek moves up a place. Forfang, 4th here. That's the best he's ever finished. That was in 2016. I was expecting more in Oberstdorf and hoping for more for him here, but it hasn't happened. Second place at the moment, but things will change. And next up, Maxi Ortner for Austria. Ortner, 2 podiums last season for this 28-year-old Austrian, former winner of the Continental Cup, the 2nd tier of world ski jumping, and that's pretty good. over 130. Now, he had a little more advantage than Forfang over Lanisek. Getting on for 2 meters. Well, he's got 133. Lanisek had 135 meters in distance. Backwind compensation. Lanisek 7.7 points. Ortner's got 6.7. It's going to be very tight between the two. Lanisek might just prevail. Oh, Ortner's got there by 10 centimeters. Next up, Robin Pedersen for Norway. His advantage over Ortner, a meter from the first round. He's going to get better points here than he did in Oberstdorf, where he just got a couple. Pedersen has really justified his selection. Ortner 133. Pedersen 131 meters. So he's going to need that first round advantage. And he's going to need a bit of backwind compensation. I think that this time I'm going to stick my neck out and say that Ortner will hang on. Big wide spread of the skis, snaps in the telemark. And approval there from his coach. Third place. Ortner, Lanisek, Pedersen, Austria, Slovenia, Norway, Forfang off the podium, and Gregor Deschwanden for Switzerland to go next. Felix Hoffmann on the right, Philipp Raimund on the left. They're the two interested Germans watching the man who was runner-up here a year ago. Gregor Deschwanden, you could see the laser line, which is where he needed to get to keep himself in first place. 134 meters. This will take on and overtake Maxi Ortner. A little better from Deschwanden, who's beginning to get in the groove. This is a hill he likes, obviously. A couple of meters further than the first round, and seemingly satisfied with his effort. Holding his ranking position at the moment, but will he climb any further? Naoki Nakamura, best man in the lucky loser pool. That tells you that this man has real ability, which he does. Well, he's got past the 130 line, but remembering that Deschwanden has just put up 134 meters, there was barely half a meter advantage that he had from the first round. Nakamura, 12th here a year ago, 4th at the moment. So maybe he's not going to get a personal Garmisch best. Ortner for Austria, Deschwanden for Switzerland, Lanisek for Slovenia. And there are still 12 to come. And now Vlad Zagravsky. 3 10th place top 10 finishes this season for Vlad. Well, the determination was there, and that's very similar to the man who just preceded him in terms of distance. Well, Nakamura went into 4th place, and it may well be that Zagravsky's going to take that. 18th in Oberstdorf. First announced himself as a junior world champion back in 2011, and indeed Zagrawski goes fourth. Podium stays as it was, and now Ryoyo Kobayashi. Joint leaders, Ortner and Deswanden, 2:58.1. Kobayashi, well, here's a man who could really shake up the podium. And a huge response from the audience. Over 140 meters, new leader by some margin. And you might ask your question, why didn't he do that the first time? One, two, three, 4 marks of 19. And only the Slovenian judge has given him 18.5. But he's got 3 marks of 19 to count. Have a look at this. Look how solid he is on the in-run. The skis absolutely straight, not chattering on the sides, not cutting the speed. And the BWT's rock solid, flat aerodynamic, upper body beautifully parallel, solid landing. The Jani Vatainen in the back and Kento Sakayama really enjoying that. And Kobayashi has gone 12.5 meters clear of everyone who preceded him. So he's bidding to get into the top 10. And it's the top 10 that come next. And how far will he climb up the table? So the top 10, Austria, Norway, Poland, Germany, Slovenia and Japan, all involved in the final chapter. The defending Four Hills champion, one of the 10 about to come. 2 Germans in there, Philipp Raimund and Felix Hoffmann. The hill record holder, Stefan Embacher for Austria, 145.5 meters. Ren Nakaido for Japan. And the last 2 to go are separated by just 1 3/4 meters. And that's Jan Hurl for Austria and Domen Preutz. So Ryoyo Kobayashi, the ski flying world record holder. Now we'll watch the defending champion Daniel Schuffernig, the winner here in New Year's Day 2021. Here's the man who was 10th in Oberstdorf, representing Norway, Manuel Fetter, 4th overall in the tourney in 2011. The 18-year-old Polish boy, Philipp Raimund for Germany, and Felix Hoffmann, the host nation's hopes, the hill record holder. Ren Nakaido, 2 runners-up spots already this season. Jan Hurl, only once on the podium. But Domen Preutz looking for a 7th victory, and indeed a 16th victory. Bidding to become the 4th Slovenian to win here after Primož Peterka, Petr Preutz, his older brother, Andrzej Lanasek. Will he be the 4th to succeed here for Slovenia? The Olympia Schanze, all set in backwind conditions in all 8 measurement sections. And the jury adjusting the gate. We've been on gate number 17, and it's Daniel Schuffernig to go next. The 23-year-old Austrian to take on Ryoyo Kobayashi. Now, between the 2 of them at the halfway stage point, 2 of an advantage, nothing. a toenail between Schoeneck and Ryoyo Kobayashi. 141 meters for Kobayashi. Gate 17. And this is where it becomes really fascinating. Advantage to Kobe. Over 10 meters better in distance. But we have to factor in the backwind compensation. Kobe had 7 points. Schoeneck has got 5 more. But Kobe had the style and he also had the distance. So Kobe goes into the top 10. Runner-up in Oberstdorf, but it hasn't happened today. Next man to go, Chris Sundal, Norway. Never far away, runner-up in Oslo in 2024, the closest he's got to the top step of a podium. Schoeneck goes into second place. That was on the cards. Maxi Ortner, his Austrian teammate, drops to third, and Gregor Desfanden off the podium in fourth, and now Chris Sundal. 137.5 meters is the target. And you can see there that green laser line, and he was way short of that, not even 130. So Ryoyo Kobayashi moves up another place. And 124 meters. This will not put him on the podium. The podium will stay the same. Japan, Austria, Austria. Disappointment for Sundal. One day it's going to happen. He's too good an athlete not to win one of these, but it's a dream that everybody has, and many dream, few realize. And so to Manu Fettner for Austria. And Fettner, well, his advantage over Kobayashi, the best part of 2 meters. So there the graphic tells you 140 meters is the target. Well, this was the feeling I had when Kobe put in that effort of 141 meters, that he was going to move up. And he continues to move up. Disappointment for Manuel Fettner, a little bit further than Sundal. Fettner, who's twice finished fourth here in his career. And the podium is Kobayashi, Schoeneck, Ortner. Desfanden stays in joint third place with Ortner. Kobe looking rather satisfied. A winner this season in Lillehammer and Engelberg. And now Kasper Tomasiak for Poland. Fearless at the moment, this talented 18-year-old. 131.5 meters the first flight. Pretty good effort. Tomasiak with a 2-meter advantage over Kobayashi from the first round. And this will be really good. I'm just having a look at how that relates. This challenging Schoeneck for second place. Kasper gets second place. Really well done. Fifth in Viessmann and Engelberg. 5 top 15s. And he's heading for yet another good result. He is the Polish #1 at the moment. And now to Germany. 2 in a row, Philipp Raimund. So Raimund, well, you need 140 at the moment, knowing that Domen Preutz is to come. And that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Philipp Raimund asked and answered, and 135-ish, exactly 135. His advantage over Kobe. A good 2 to 3 meters, so I'm trying to work this out here now, looking at the difference. The advantage is still with Kobe because the wind had changed. Oh, in fact, they've just corrected it. Backwind compensation for Raimund. Second place. The meters, a real difference there. 135 to Kobe's 141. And from one German to another, Felix Hoffmann now on the podium in 3rd place, promoted in Oberstdorf after the disqualification of Timmy Zeitz. And he's got a little more advantage than his teammate over Kobayashi. 4 meters by my reckoning. So 137 is the target. Kobe had 141. Can he get there? Yes, he can. The style is okay, no major errors. He's very close. The computer said 137, he's got 136. It's very close. Raimund, his teammate in 2nd place, he's going to eclipse him. Is he 2nd? Is he 1st? Looking at the star marks, 1, 2, 3 marks of 19. The backwind compensation is about half a meter less. That's against him. Four to come after this man. Germany will be 2nd and 3rd, I think. Kobe sitting there confidently, 277.8, better than that to take the lead. 275.9, close but not quite there. And Kobayashi, who started in 11th place and now can't be worse than 5th. And next is Austria. 2 Austrians, 1 Japanese and 1 Slovenian still to come. And this is really nice, and it shows you how this sport comes together. So Stefan Embacher, the hill record holder at 145.5 meters. And if he's going to win this today, he's going to have to produce that hill record, because remembering that Embacher is 11 points behind Domen Preutz at the half stage. 11 points, you're talking a deficit of 6 meters. And that's what you have to factor in here. They're pretty happy, Felix and Philip, at the moment. They've been very consistent, the pair of them, but neither have yet won one of these World Cups. And Stefan Embacher, this 19-year-old find for Austria, this 2-time junior world champion, required to take a pause. And here you can see the fickle wind. It's changing in direction, it's changing in strength. Just at this moment in time, actually, it's just eased off a bit. And gate 16 down from 17. Jury decision. Mbacher. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I said he had to break the hill record. My goodness. Stefan Mbacher. He hasn't broken the hill record, but he's got to 140 meters, 141 and a half. He's eclipsed Ryoyo Kobayashi by half a meter. And with his advantage over Kobe from the first round, Austria take the advantage. What a sensational season. Runner-up in Falun, 6 other top 10s, 7th place in Oberstdorf. Just everything's going in the right direction. Set a new hill record in Engelberg just before the Christmas holidays of 145 meters. Little bit of instability on the landing there. That'll stop him getting 19s. But I still think he's going to get a decent score from the style judges. Andy Wenzel absolutely delighted, because this is the best result, whatever happens, that Stefan can have in the 4 hills. He's a newcomer really to it. Mbacher from Kobayashi, Hoffmann in 3rd place for Germany. 4th Raimund, 5th Tomasiak. This is Ren Nakaido. Really good effort by Ren from, again, gate 16, but not enough meters. Ren Nakaido chasing Stefan Mbacher, but there was only a point between them. Now, where's Ren Nakaido going to go? Because he's chasing his own Japanese teammate, Ryoyo Kobayashi, who at the moment is sitting in 2nd place. Felix Hoffmann in 3rd. The difference between Ren Nakaido and Kobayashi, 3 meters in favor of Kobe. And they know that it's a really good effort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 marks of 19 out of a possible 20. And he's 2nd. He's eclipsed Kobe. And Japan are 2nd and 3rd. Hoffmann is 4th. 2 to go. 1 for Austria, 1 for Slovenia. And the next man, Jan Hurl for Austria. 141 meters in the first round. Chasing Ren Nakaido. Gate 15 now. Gate 15. This is going to give Jan Hurl gate compensation points. Shorter in-run to work with. Interesting they've decided that. They might change back, actually, because the way the wind is playing around at the moment, I'm not 100% certain that they'll go with this. Hales from Bischofshofen. Here we go. Only 1 meter and 3/4 advantage over Domen Preutz. Needs the meters. 131.5 meters. Doesn't feel enough. Now, it's consoling rather than applauding the effort. It hasn't happened. even with 15 points worth, 16 points worth of compensation, what would that be, 8 meters? Well, let me just do the maths carefully. 8 meters to add to the 131 would get him close. Well, might squeeze him on the podium here. This is difficult to calculate. 287.1 to get ahead, and he's got ahead. That gate change has made all the difference. By 30 centimeters, Jan Hurl has taken the lead. I wasn't sure. That's how difficult it was. 131.5 meters, 10 meters short of Embacher. But the backwind compensation and the gate change have made up the difference. Plus, of course, his advantage from the first round, and now it's down to Domen Preutz to try and make it 2 out of 2 to win for a 7th time this season. And the difference between him and Jan Hurl, 1.75 meters in his favor. It's Deadly Domen again. He's got the distance, he's got the style, he's got the victory, and he was 10 meters ahead in the Vierschanzen after Oberstdorf. And Domen Preutz is on cloud 9. 1, 2, 3 marks of 19. Backwind compensation out of the same gate as Jan Hurl. Totally convincing. He is the master of the class. He is in a division above everybody at the moment, and he's halfway to that golden eagle. Well, Domen Preutz coming off, you can see the fantastic coordination. This is his flying skill. Arms really still, skis really flat, upper body parallel, bringing all the speed that he earns on the in-run through. Like the first round, a little wobble on the landing, but Robert Hogota, the head coach there, on fire. They've done it again. The 4th Slovenian to win here in Garmisch-Partenkirchen on New Year's Day, following the footsteps of Primož Peterka in the 90s, Petr Preutz, 2016, Andrzej Lanasek, 2024, Domen Preutz, 2026. The winning margin, another astonishing 15.4 points, 8.6 meters ahead of Jan Hurl. And at the halfway stage, Domen Preutz is an incredible 35 points in the lead ahead of Jan Hurl. That, translated to distance, gives him a lead of almost 20 meters. Congratulations to Domen Preutz, of course. Jan Hurl, great to see him back on the podium. Stefan Embacher, the hill record holder, the new hill record holder, in 3rd place. That's a terrific effort from Stefan Embacher, because it means that's his 2nd podium, following up his success in Falun. Ren Nikaido in 4th place ahead of his teammate Ryo Kobayashi, who's up from 11th to 5th. Kasper Tomasiak of Poland, the number 1 for his country, in 8th place. That's another great result. Maxi Ortner and Gregor Deschwanden share 10th place. Sandro Hauswirth of Switzerland, 18th. That's a new personal best. And Mackenzie Boyd Close gets that 1 point for finishing in 30th place. Well, it's been another fantastic day at the Four Hills, and long may this continue. Now, one or two of you might think, well, you know, it's not very exciting with Domen winning. You're looking at young athletes performing at the highest level. To fly 140 meters, 1.5 times virtually the length of your local football pitch in 6-7 seconds is amazing. And they've enjoyed themselves. They've been part of this great festival of ski jumping. The next stop, of course, is the Bergisel. Cross the Fern Pass down into the Austrian Tyrol. Not tonight, but tomorrow. Stefan Embacher. Well, being on the podium in Falun was good. This is completely different. To be on the podium here, this is so special. Jan Hurl, Austria 2 and 3.
Und nun der Sieger des Skispringens 2026 in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Kommt aus Slowenien. The winner, representing
And so to the man who is the Four Hills leader, the World Cup #1, the world champion from Trondheim 2025, Domen Preutz, in that wonderful purple patch at the age of 26. His sister Nika won the women's competition here, and the boys lapping up, as they should do, this wonderful audience. Oberstdorf was great. This is terrific. Jan Hurl, he must wonder what he has to do to win. That's the 14th time in his career that he's been a runner-up.
Also nochmal der Hinweis, bitte bleiben Sie noch da, die Siegerehrung wird gleich beginnen. Hier im Auslauf bleiben Sie noch da.
In the Four Hills, Domen Preutz leads Jan Hurl by 35 points. 41 points back is Stefan Embacher, then Felix Hoffmann, then Ryoyo Kobayashi. 47 points back in 5th place. That's 26 meters, but the Innsbruck Hill, the Bergisel, which faces the graveyard, has often been the undoing of athletes, and that's not wishing by any means that that happens to Domen or anyone. It just happens to be a fact. But the Golden Eagle, it's not in Domen's hands yet, but he's well on the way.
Another fantastic competition today.
Yeah, another really good day for me. Yeah, actually I didn't celebrate Happy New Year yesterday as I was so tired and I just went to sleep when it was like 11 o'clock. I didn't even hear the fireworks, so yeah, I think I had this advantage today that I was really rested and yeah, in super shape, and combining all of that, again, super performance.
After your second jump, it looked like you were surprised yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be harder with Harald, but yeah, when I was in the in-run, I already felt, yeah, I feel really good feeling on my feet, really good way how to take off, and I felt like I can push full power from that position, and yeah, lots of speed into the air and super good jumps.
Half of the tournament done and still no pressure?
I mean, of course there is pressure always coming from all sides, but yeah, it's on me how I deal with it. If I take it as advantage to put it in adrenaline, more energy, so I can push further, I think that's the best way to deal with it.
Thank you very much, Domen Preutz. Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Domen Preyers, who for the second time accumulated more than 300 points in achieving his victory, 303.1, the only man to break the 300-point barrier. But a fantastic result for this youngster. Stefan Embacher on the podium. And Domen's success in the cauldron of the Olympic Stadium means that he now leads the overall season-long World Cup by 314 points ahead of Ryoyo Kobayashi. And 300 points, that's 3 competitions clear of his next rival. Philipp Raimund in 3rd place ahead of Andrzej Lanasek. Ren Nikaido completing the top 5. In the Nations Cup, the accumulation of points by each national squad, Austria leading the Slovenians by 340 points. Japan ahead of Germany and Norway in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Now, the equipment checks are pending. Matthias Haffele, already we've had 3 disqualifications, and well, we remember what happened in Oberstdorf. Timmy Zeitz was tied for 2nd place and then disqualified. Felix Hoffmann moved up to 3rd, and Valentin Foubert moved up from the lucky loser pool into 30th place. So I'm not going to second guess. I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that nothing untoward happens in terms of the front 3. And the equipment checks at the moment underway, and then the formal presentation to follow. And there you have the 4 hill standings and that massive lead of Jan Hurls. But we've got the challenge of the Bergisel at Innsbruck, and then the biggest hill of them all in Bischofshofen. Still to come. We are only halfway through the tournée. Well, just a reminder that at 4:15 Central European time in Oberstdorf, here on FIS TV, we'll be bringing you the second women's competition. Nina Lucy will be your host for that, and we'd be delighted to have your company. As for the 4 hills, the plan is rest, rejoice today, and then tomorrow over the Fern Pass down into the Austrian Tyrol to get ready for qualification on the Bergisel. That's on the 3rd of January, competition on the 4th. And we'd be delighted to have your company for those competitions, of course. And then on the 5th and 6th, we're in Salzburger Land. And this is where it becomes really pressing. Now it becomes pretty relentless. And it's really important to do what Herman said. You need to get sleep. You need to take the opportunity to chill out, to relax when you can. I think you can imagine the pressure that he's under, the demands from the media to talk to him and to get him to appear on a whole host of television channels. So let me just remind you, Innsbruck, when we go there on the 3rd of January, qualification is at 2:30 Central European time. And then on the 4th of January, the competition is at 1:30 Central European time. Innsbruck, which still doesn't have floodlights, a complete mystery to me, but that's the way it is. And it really is tough because you finish at Innsbruck on the 4th of January and almost immediately you pack up, get in the car and drive straight away to Bischofshofen, which is a couple of hours and always seems to be challenging weather. And the tournée to finish on the 6th. Well done to the spectators, a good number of them. The vast majority have stayed to respect and recognize the 3 achievers who are going to be presented on the podium. Yeah, just a reflection, of course, the ups and downs, and the up is very much Domen Preutz, the down is Timmy Zeitz. A second disqualification in a row means that the 2 yellows are converted to a red, and it means that he won't be able to compete in Innsbruck on the Bergisel. So it's been, for him, a really miserable 4 hills. He took the disqualification in Oberstdorf pretty well, but I think this is going to be really tough. Stefan Imbacher looking pleased as punch as he should be after a fantastic competition. To finish on the podium, to set a new hill record, only 19 years of age, really new to the 4 hills, tremendous. And of course, he started the day in the top 10 of the World Cup rankings, and today's podium has enhanced that position. In fact, just to confirm that he is actually in 10th place, Stefan Kraft in 9th, who had a horrible day at the office. Jan Hurl in 8th in the World Cup. But what's interesting is you look at the Austrians, they've been packing them into the top 10, but Austria 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, but then everybody above them, Germany 6th, Japan 5th, Slovenia 4th, Germany 3rd, Japan 2nd, Slovenia 1st. So we're moments away from the presentation. I think all the equipment checks have been completed, but I'm not going to second guess it after what happened in Oberstdorf. And this is quite remarkable, as you can imagine. All these athletes, the demand for their time. Doman's still chatting. And worth remembering that the athletes themselves, they go up on the hill. They have the skill, the technique, the courage to do what they do, but behind them is a significant team of servicemen, physios, doctors, coaches. Austrian television with Doman Preutz there. And I can imagine the Austrian interest. There will be a massive turnout of Slovenian fans in Austria, that's for sure. So it looks from the interviews and the boys standing around that the technical checks have gone through without any problems. That's good news. I'll just check my message log, and there's no adverse messages on that regarding the technical things. It says they're still in progress, so we're waiting patiently. Well done to the jury as well. They did a pretty good job today in changeable conditions. Yeah, they put on a fantastic show here in Garmisch. It gets better by the year. And there was always a thought that Oberstdorf was stealing their thunder as the #1 venue, but Garmisch have really shaped up this time. And this gives you a really good idea of the demand on the athletes there. And Doman looking quite relaxed and chatting away. But he will do this a dozen times and more. And there's an official press conference, of course, that follows. And all the time, he'll be conscious of the amount of energy that he's using up. And that's why it's so important that someone like Robert Hagota, their head coach, will take control and make sure that Doman is well looked after, well protected when he needs to be. But this may be, for Doman, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win this great competition. You never know whether your time will come round again. And as a result of that, there will be a deal of determination inside that young man to make sure that he does everything right. And so to the official presentation.
Viessmann, FIS Ski Jumping World Cup, New Year Ski Jumping Garmisch-Partenkirchen 2026. Viessmann, FIS Skisprung-Weltcup, Neujahr Skispringen, Garmisch-Partenkirchen 2026. Award Ceremony. Die Siegerehrung. Third place, representing Austria. Dritter Platz, aus Österreich, Stefan Embacher.
19 years of age, representing Austria, his second World Cup podium to follow on the one he got in Sweden earlier in the season in Falun, the junior world champion of 2024 and 2025, and the hill record holder, Jan Hurl, 14th time as a runner-up, but you sense that a victory may not be far away. Hails from Bischofshofen. And the world champion records a 7th success for the season. The winner in Oberstdorf, now the winner in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. 20 meters ahead of his closest pursuer in the Vierschanzen. Domen Preutz, the 4th Slovenian to win on New Year's Day in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, following in the footsteps of Primož Peterka, of Petr Preutz, his older brother, of Andrzej Lanasek. Really nice trophies for the boys to take home and to display. And so we're almost at the end. We're almost at the end, but those boys aren't. They've got more work to do with the media. I hope you've enjoyed the Garmisch-Partenkirchen on New Year's Day. The weather has been great. The sporting action has been absolutely first class, topped off by this man who now goes on the Garmisch-Partenkirchen Roll of Honor, Ski Club Partenkirchen, Domen Preutz. And so a tune we're getting pretty used to hearing to recognize the achievement yet again of a fantastic athlete, the national anthem of Slovenia.
Will be played. Zu Ehren des Siegers wird die Nationalhymne von Slowenien gespielt.
Well, you can see how much that support team enjoys the performance of Domen Preutz. It is time for us to take our leave. Thank you ever so much for being with us. On behalf of FIS TV, Happy New Year. And we look forward to your company on the 3rd, in 2 days' time on Saturday, for Innsbruck qualification at 2:30, Sunday at 1:30 for the competition. Just around the corner, the women's event about to get underway at 4:15 Central European time in Oberstdorf. Nika Preutz looking to retain her title as Two Hills champion, having already won here at the moment. The Preotzes are unstoppable.
Aus Slowenien, Domen Preutz.
So that's it. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of New Year's Day. Join us on the weekend for action from the Bergisel. It's a sellout. It'll be fantastic. Again, the Four Hills really living up to its reputation in its 74th edition. All those years back, 1953 to 2026. Domen Preutz halfway to lifting that golden eagle, but he knows that there are still many competitions, many jumps to do before he can put his hands on that trophy. From myself, David Goldstrom, thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your day. For now, though, bye-bye from Garmisch.
Ab 5 und 6 Milliarden.